He's warning them about the Pharisees. He's warning them about enemies. He's warning them about people. And he says, listen, don't fear anybody that can harm the body. Don't fear anybody that can cause you harm, because after that, there's nothing else that they can do. And so one of the things that we looked at is, how did Jesus view this life? Jesus viewed this life as temporary. He viewed this life as transition. So regardless of whatever somebody does to you on this side, if they don't have any power on the other side, that's the person you shouldn't fear. Jesus lets us know who we should fear. He says, fear the person that after you leave this life, because the next life is eternal, whether you're good, whether you're bad, whether you're Christian or non-Christian, whether you're saved or unsaved, the transition to the next life, that's eternal life. So he said, listen, don't fear temporary, fear eternal. The person who makes decisions in the eternal, then that's the person that you should focus on, not those who can affect the temporary. And so then what Jesus starts to do to get them to understand not to worry, he starts bringing up animals and birds. And so what Jesus is about to do is Jesus is about to give several examples of why you shouldn't fear. Jesus is about to give several reasons of why you should not be anxious. Before we go any further, one of the things that we also talked about is definitions. Definitions are extremely important. And so, especially when you read in the context will always tell you how to define the word. And so somebody says, I fear my father, or I fear the principal. That's a healthy fear, which you would define that as respect. There's also a fear of danger. Right. So if the plane is going down, or you find yourself on a cliff and you're about to fall, and there's a fear of danger, somebody says, oh, you don't have enough faith. No, that's not a, no. I need to, that fear, God, if you even study anatomy, your body chemistry changes when there is danger near. If there's a lion, or if there's something happen, or you're driving and somebody's your body chemistry changes, your blood pressure, you start sweating, and it's an indication that your body is letting you know, hey, listen, something's wrong and something needs to change. And so with that, all fear is not bad. It is the fear in what man can do where it becomes sinful. It is in the opinion of man that it becomes sinful. Somebody says, I fear God. That's a healthy fear. Matter of fact, Jesus says that's the one that you need to fear. So there are different definitions, but one thing that we defined is the definition of fear, or to be afraid, is to believe. All right. And so the definition of fear also means to believe. It means to trust in. So when somebody says, I'm afraid that this may happen, it means that they have trust in it. Right? It means that they have trust in it. To get somebody to remove from fear is, for some people, it is almost the equivalent of getting somebody out of the faith. So if I came to you right now and I said, hey, listen, the church that God doesn't really want us to be a part of a church. So what I need you to do is I just need you to stop going all together. I need you to just quit. Right? Because it's not necessary. I need you to go and live free, and you go be free. What would it take for somebody to get you to leave the church? What would it take for you to say, I'm done with the church altogether? I don't want any part of the church. What would it take? What if somebody came to you and said, a 2-minute conversation, the church ain't there. You need to leave. You need to leave right now. What would your response be? It's going to take more than that. No, you're going to have to show me. So if you notice, if I believe in fear, you telling me don't be afraid and nudging me, for some people, that's why they don't come. There are some people who are afraid of coming to Jesus Christ. So you say, hey, there's nothing to be afraid of. Just go in there and get baptized. But it's going to take more than a nudge. So that's why Jesus said, hey, listen, you need to go out into all the world and preach and teach. Why? Because there are some people, they are where they are because they feel like where they are is safe. There are some people, the idea of coming to Christ is scary. So they're going to stay where they are and keep doing what they're doing because they're familiar with this. This is what I do. Somebody says, well, it's dysfunctional. Yeah, it may be dysfunctional, but I'm so familiar with it. This is what I do. But to go over there, that's scary. The idea that things are going well is scary for some people. Some say, hey, how are things going? I don't know. I mean, my bills are paid and there's gas in the tank and everybody healthy. And, you know, I don't, and they start getting scared. And the reason why they start getting scared is because I'm used to this, to the destruction. I'm used to the dysfunction. I need an enemy. Right? I'm so used to fighting with people that if there are no more enemies, I almost kind of feel, matter of fact, you start looking for someone, where y'all at? You gonna quit now? You ain't gonna come back at me? People start end up poking fights and creating and manufacturing what is familiar. And somebody said, why are you going through all of that trouble when you could just be in peace? Because actually trouble is familiar to me. But to be in peace is, I'm scared of the silence. I'm scared when everybody smiles at me. I'm scared when everybody's happy and everything is going good. I'm saying, oh, what's going to happen? Something's going to happen. And when something happens, notice the fear goes away and says, no, okay, good. I'm familiar with this. I know trouble. I'm familiar with trouble, but all that happiness and everybody skipping around, I'm not used to all of that. We need to get back to XYZ, right? So there's those different definitions of fear. There is the fear, right? There is fear. Remember I said fear and faith are just X's. They're closely related, but they're just X's. So to have fear is to believe in. It means that you trust. There's something that you saw. There's something that you heard. There's something that you received. And then you said, I have faith in that. I trust the source of that information. When a person says they have faith, it's the same thing. Matter of fact, it's the same element. Right? It's the same element. So to have faith means I receive some information and I trusted in it. Here's the problem. We live in an information age where there's constantly information coming at us at all times. So you have all this information and you get to choose what you're going to trust in. Right? The other problem is there are some thoughts that you have on your own and you got to sometimes tell yourself that's not true. Even though you created the thought, you created the feeling, and you're the one that's going to have to check yourself and say, that thought is not true, that feeling is not true, and I need to stop believing in that. Sometimes somebody can say something to you, and you will believe what they say, and matter of fact, you'll be in battle all day long. Can you believe they said that to me? Can you believe that? Yeah, and I'm not that type of person. Do you think that I'm type of person? Do you think that I'm type of person? Because I feel like I'm not, but I'm not that type of person. And you're going around, and somebody said, no, you fine, and that doesn't bring you peace. So you go around to 10 other people. I mean, well, do you think I'm because they said that and it has disturbed your peace to the point where now you're starting to have anxiety and where faith is. Matter of fact, when Jesus was on the boat and he said, peace be still. What Jesus did to the waters is what was supposed to be in them. So when you have faith, it doesn't matter about what's going on the outside. There's a peace in the storm that's inside of you. Your water is still. When you have anxiety, there is a storm. So here's what's horrible. If there's a storm going on the outside and there's a storm going on the inside, you're drowning. You don't have any peace. right? So how can you walk on water and how can you sleep in the middle of a storm? Because what's going on the outside is not a reflection of what's going on the inside. So literally, every time that I want you to think about worrying or anxiety, I want you to think about troubled waters. I want you to think about troubled waters. I want you to think about a storm. But worrying and anxiety is an internal storm, which means your peace is disturbed. Right? So I can come to you and I can say something, and if you trust and believe in what I say, I can disturb you. The words that I gave you, I can disturb you. And if we're not careful, sometimes we can use the word of God to scare people, to manipulate people. Right? And the word of God is not meant for that. You can use it wrong. The Bible says rightly divide the word of God. You can wrongly divide it. And so you say, hey, listen, if y'all don't do what I say right now, Jesus is going to come. There's a prayer cloth that I need y'all all, that everyone to have. We cut little squares out and everybody need to have $5 a square. The Lord is telling me that if you don't buy this, you won't be blessed this week. Have y'all ever heard something similar? Yeah, y'all heard stuff like that similar online, or people feel like if I don't, my next blessing is connected to this. So if I don't do this, have anybody ever seen a chain email and say, listen, if you don't pass this on, you're going to have trouble for 3 days, and your left tire going to fall off or something like that. And so you have to, and so what it is it's a fear just saying, oh my goodness, if I really believe this, then I'm going to miss my blessing. Sometimes you'll get certain things and saying, hey, listen, if you really my friend, you'll share this to 12 people or 15 people. Hey, listen, if me having an account, if me having an account and being able to share is what qualifies us to be friends, we need to redefine. Yeah, we need to redefine the relationship. And so there's a problem when you get messages and you believe in messages that are not true, because fear is used by Satan to manipulate. Fear is used by Satan, and fear is used by enemies. Fear is used by people who want power, and so they realize people respond to fear. People respond to the boogeyman. All right. And so what people end up doing is one of the things they realize is when people are afraid, it affects purchases. It affects purchases. So what if a year and a half ago, I came to you and said, I need all of y'all, if y'all want to get in business with me, I'm investing in masks. I'm investing in masks, the masks that you have. I want you to invest in it. A year and a half ago, you know what you said? That ain't even something a lot of people have. I mean, unless you're a doctor or something, but no, listen, I'm gonna make designer masks. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make different colors. We're gonna invest in it. We're gonna put a lot of money in masks. You can be like, oh, Brother Williams, he trying. Let's, let's donate. Let's donate something to help him maybe get started and give him some cloth or something he can get, maybe get off the ground. Give him some old shirts or something that he can do something with. And we can donate. Not knowing what you know now, when there was fear, then all of a sudden it becomes a necessity. And it drives trust and believe, knowing that they are needful, but trust and believe there's a segment of our world that says, hey, we need to keep this going because we can milk this. They do that with prescriptions. They do that with gasoline. They do that with wars. They do that because they know fear drives people. And if you are afraid, matter of fact, if it was an investment for Ozarka for you to know that your faucet water is not drinkable. If you was Ozarka, wouldn't you invest in the science that proves that faucet water isn't good? Matter of fact, if I work for Ozarka, I'd be like, yeah, we need to research that and we need to find out what's all in that water because we want to help the people. But part of that research reveals what? money and profit for our business. Don't let anybody profit off of you because you're afraid. There are some people who benefit because you're afraid to do certain things. So they say, don't worry, I'll do it for you. Because I benefit from you being afraid, because then I have place in your life. Lord forbid if you have faith. Lord forbid if you have courage. Matter of fact, for a little kid that's learning how to ride a bike, if I have my value in helping, then they're afraid to do it on their own and say, here, I have to. If I'm not here, then they won't, I have to be here. You ever know people like that where they act like they don't want to be there, but they actually get value from being needed? There they go calling me again. I gotta go. Because they can't do it. They don't know how to do it unless I show up. So you know how that is. And they're complaining, but they love it. They're really not honest. What they're saying is, I'm so glad they called, because I just feel, it just warms my heart every time the phone rings, and I feel needed. But you know what they do? To hide it, to cover it. Is my phone ringing again? I gotta go. I can't never get no peace. I gotta go and help this situation. I'm gonna be back with it. It never ends. They always need the help. And lo and behold, if one day the person says, no, I got it. I learned how to do it. You sure? Because sometimes it get a little tricky. No. We replace that whole thing, put on a brand new model. We don't even need that anymore. So hey, I just appreciate you. We don't even need that. People lose their place. What if we got rid of all prescription drugs? Then there will be a whole industry that would need to find new jobs. Because we profit off of, if you don't take this, you won't make it. If you don't take this, you won't make it. They profit off of it. What if somebody comes with a solution and says, hey, you won't even need that anymore? Just eat this little nasty green stuff, and you won't even need this anymore. And for some, you know what a fear is? It's the fear of not being needed. So people who are afraid of that nobody will need them create sabotage. I don't know if you ever had a Bible study on it. It's a legitimate fear. Now, it comes out of a pure place, because what I want to do is I want to be useful in your life. I really do. I want to be useful in your life. So you know what I did? I found a way to be beneficial. The problem is, when you grew up, when you matured, when you started learning skills, then all of a sudden, you don't need me as much. I loved being your tutor. Oh, I loved being your tutor. See, when I was your tutor, I could help you with each and every step. But after a while, I'm only helping you at the end. I'm not helping you at the beginning anymore. And then after a while, you're only asking me to look over it, when actually I used to walk through the steps with you. And now you've turned into a tutor and you don't even need me anymore. And so sometimes that can hurt. Because it can feel like rejection when it's actually a lack of maturity. Because you should want people to grow. You should want people to develop. You should want people to fly. But you get to a point where people can start to sabotage growth. You can have people where they sabotage growth because that's how I can stay connected and be needed. Because I'm afraid that if everybody gets it, then you won't need me anymore. Hey, where you get that from? No, don't worry about it. I'll get it for you. No, tell me where you got it from. That way, I ain't got to keep calling you and pick it up and you dropping by. But I don't want to tell you. You know why they hated Walmart? You know why they hated Walmart? They hated Walmart Because you can go to Walmart and get as much. And then they really hated Sam's because then you got the large sizes, and you could go to the idea that it was almost like a warehouse, because nobody ever thought that you can go straight to a supplier. Matter of fact, you need the middleman. The reason why they hate Amazon, and Amazon started hurting Walmart and other places, because Amazon says, hey, listen, we don't make the product. We're just a portal where you can talk to the supplier. And if the supplier is in Australia, if the supplier is in Japan, if the supplier is in Canada, you could talk directly to them. They'll wrap it themselves and send it to you, and we'll guarantee delivery. So for the first time, you had customers talking to suppliers, and sometimes the supplier worked out of their house. And they said, listen, I don't know who to really sell to, but I'm going to get on Amazon, and I can talk to customers who want my product. And I may not even need a huge warehouse, but I'll ship directly from my house. All right? So then people started to become afraid. In business, they became fearful. It was like, wait a minute. If you're doing that, then you're not going to need us anymore. Fear can also work the other way. I don't want to show my gifts because I'm afraid if you see it, you're going to need me. So I'm about to play dumb. I'm about to play dumb, and I'm going to act like I don't know what you're talking about. So, because I'm afraid if I do it too well and I'm too good at it, then you'll get to a point where you're going to need me, and I don't want to be needed that way. It can work on both ends. I'm afraid you're not going to need me, and I'm afraid you are going to need me, and I don't want to be leaned on. So people start making these moves. Have you ever realized a lot of us make decisions off of fear? A lot of our decisions throughout the day is off of fear. Somebody says, well, why don't you save your money? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Because I'm afraid that if I don't do it now, it's the idea of having a sale. What do they say? The sale ends tonight. So it's the fear like, I gotta get it now, because if I don't get it now, I'm never gonna get it. Because I need to live my best life now, and I need to have fun right now, because if I don't have fun, I won't be able to have fun later. So it's this idea that God is not a supplier. Anybody who operates like that, you don't believe that God is a supplier. So the reason why gluttony is a sin, we don't preach on it a lot, we don't talk about it a lot, but the reason why gluttony is a sin, you can eat now, but then you can save it for later. And it won't be, you can eat the whole pan. You can eat the whole pan. It's not sinful. It's not sinful, I learned. Right? I had to learn. It's not sinful to break it up, right? The sin is if you keep stuffing. That's the sin. So as long as you stop, you take a break, and then you come back. Here's the fear. If you have fear that it won't be there, then it drives you to sin. It drives you to gluttony, because you say to yourself, then I gotta get it all right now, because if I wake up in the morning, I won't have anything tomorrow. So let me get as much as I can today. Do you know why greed is a sin? Greed is a sin because it is the belief that God is not a supplier. So I gotta take from as much as, and I'll put in, somebody said, well, leave something for somebody. No, because this is it. This is it. And I'm not gonna be happy unless I get as much as I can, because God is not doing anything tomorrow. This is the last shipment from God today. This is it. I'm not getting any more blessings. I'm not getting any more breakthroughs. God is not going to do any more great for me in my life. So I got to get it all right now at this moment, at this very hour. Because if I don't, then I'll never laugh again. I'll never smile again. I'll never be able to take another trip again. I'll never be able to experience joy again. Listen, if I don't do this right now, then this is it for me. It is the belief that God has ran out. And that's sinful. If you believe that God has ran out, then you indulge in gluttony, greed, and covetousness. Covetousness, and because Jesus is about to talk about it in a minute, covetousness is, I'm not waiting on the Lord to deliver. I see what you, and I gotta get what you have. We're talking about something beyond admiration. Admiration is, that's a nice mask. I'm trying to pick something. That's a nice pen you have. That's a really nice pen you have. That's admiration, right? You admire something, right? That's a really nice car. Where you get that? That's wonderful, right? That's admiration. Covetousness is the desire, is admiration on 10. It is not only that I like what you have, but now I'm getting to the point where my desire is to take it from you. Somebody says, oh, this is good. Hey, you can get one too. Oh, no, I want yours. No, I don't just want it. I want what you have. I want your model. I don't want another model. I don't want another brand. I don't want another type. No, I want exactly I want yours, the one with the 2 scratches on the back. I want that one. That's the one I want, because it has character to it, or whatever the case may be. And so stealing is the belief that God won't provide. Do you know why stealing is a sin? Stealing is a sin is because you stopped believing that the Lord could provide, so you don't believe that by asking you shall receive. When he said ask and you shall receive, you didn't believe me. You didn't put your trust in it. So what you did is you took your trust out of what I said and you put it in, if you don't get it now, you'll never have it. That's what you, if you don't steal it, and if you don't take it, covetousness, if you don't take it, covetousness is internal. Stealing is the manifestation of what was going on the inside. All right? It's hard to steal something that you don't first lay your eyes on. So when somebody's about to steal something, it's an internal work first. It's that covetousness that starts. Covetousness normally precedes stealing. All right. So covetousness, that's nice. That's real nice. That's nice. Okay. If you're not careful, your fan, a person that you think is your fan, is looking at you the same as other fans, but they're coveting. They look like your fan. You know why? Because they're focused on you. But actually, they're studying you to the point where they're coveting. And coveting, the spirit can change to the point where they hate. They admire so much, it gets turned to 10, to the point where they say, give it to me. Here's the dangerous thing about coveting that we're reading in the text. You know the dangerous thing about coveting? Coveting is not just physical things. I can covet your personality. And by coveting your personality, now I need to control you to have it. All right? You can covet a person's style. And so, and then all of a sudden, I was watching the show so much, and I started covering it. I wanted to be, and now I'm walking in with cowboy pants and cowboy boots, and so you said, "Well, that's not, that's cool. You do different things, but that's not you. You doing, And I'm sitting here talking with a straw in my, and I say, hey, and I'm sitting here teaching you like, I think you watching something, right? You mimicking something. You starting to go, and to the point, you know what a stalker is? A stalker looks like a fan. Another word for a stalker is a person consumed with covetousness. It's okay to admire. You can have somebody admiring, and you can have a covetous person staring at the same thing and saying, that's a beautiful painting. That's a nice painting. The person that's coveting saying, yeah, it sure is. Yeah, that's real good. That's a real good. So that's the camera over there, camera. That's a real beautiful painting. Yeah. So what time they close? It'd be stuff like a person that's coveted asks different questions. About the same thing. This was placed here. This was placed here by the Museum of Natural Science, whatever. And the person that's coveted says, what security system y'all have? Questions about the same product, but the desire is different because it's to consume, right? So just notice, covetousness is something that happens in the heart, and if you're not careful, it can lead you to ruin. But what's within covetousness is fear. Because if you really believe that God is your supplier, I don't need to take from you. I don't need to hurt you to receive. I don't need to put you down so that I can obtain. Right? I believe that you can have glory and I can have glory too, and there's enough glory to go around. I believe that you can get paid and I can get paid, and I don't need to take from you in order for me to say. Matter of fact, I believe success is so big, we both can get in that bowl and roll around in success. It's not a one-seater, right? It's if you believe that God is you have to believe that God is in the blessing business. So what I'm attacking right now, how you feel versus what I'm teaching. Because sometimes you don't feel like God has something else for you. You feel like, I think that's it. I think God has ran out of blessings for me. I'm not saying he's not doing it for other people. It just feel like he didn't ran out for something for me. And you can feel that way. Matter of fact, that's actually a common feeling amongst Christians. Because what do we like to do? Mess around and look outside and look like everybody in the world is getting a stimulus check, and then the Christians getting delayed on something, and the devil is messing with our IRS, whatever the situation may be. You will feel like your neighbor is progressing. You will feel like other people are getting ahead. You will feel like everybody else is happy but me. Everybody else is everybody. I remember everybody got Jordans. Mama, everybody got Jordans. I'm the only one shopping at Payless, Mama. None of my friends shopping. I'm the only one that don't have Jordans. Now, the honest thing was, everybody didn't have Jordans. It felt that way. It felt that way. Dog, everybody getting married? Trust, everybody's not getting married. When I wanted a car, man, everybody got a car. All my friends got cars. No, some of them walking. You see them? Some of them right there. Some of them walking. A whole bunch of them. You see the other ones get on the bus? Everybody didn't have. But what's this feeling? So what you're having to overcome is you're having to overcome these feelings based upon what you know. I know that God is a supplier, but I'm not getting it. So because I want it right now, in between where I am and God giving it to me is this medication called patience. Take 3 times every day so you can make it. You got to take patience 3 times every day. Yeah. Some of us skipping medication. Yeah. And you know what happens when you skip your medication, your patience medication? You start twitching and get antsy. And the disease of covetousness, starts rising up, and you start getting high. And you know what? You can't sleep, you can't rest, and you can't celebrate with your brothers and sisters in Christ. Well, I'm so thankful for what God is doing for you, not realizing that God has plans for me, but I don't want to wait no more because I done skipped out on my medication. I want it right now. So you know what ends up happening? What ends up happening is 2 things. Either you pursue covetousness, or in order to not steal or covet, you kill the desire, and so you no longer pray for it so that the pain can go away. I don't want no Jordans. I don't want no high shoes. I like flip-flops. I'm not going to spend that much money on no shoes. This is crazy. Now let somebody say, hey, I got a free pair. Oh, and I'm sitting here crying, emotion, and I'm jumping out. Yeah, but thank you so much. Thank you, God. I'm sitting here thanking God for some. But in the meantime, if you're not careful, you'll have people downplay what you're doing. That ain't nothing. You think you special. When really, I want to do what you're doing. I want to have what you have. I see that you're almost about to get it, and it's making me sick because you're close and I'm far away. So what I'm about to do, so that I don't covet, I'm going to downplay what you're about to receive. And I guess that's okay. I mean, I saw Bill Gates have something better than that, but I mean, that's a lesser version, but I guess, that's what you like, stuff like that. I like stuff like that. But notice, you'll change your whole personality to be okay. If you notice that in other people, I need you to tell yourself, it ain't me, it's them. They're struggling on the inside because I'm doing something that they wish they thought of. I'm doing something that they wish they were able to do. I'm doing something that they attempted to do but maybe failed. And so because they may have failed, or because they've always had a desire to do it, but they didn't have enough faith to step out and do it. And so because of that, now they're downplaying what I'm doing. They'll downplay what you do so that they can feel better. Because as long as I don't care, then I'm not fazed. So, hey, this truck dropped 3 pairs of Jordans in my sizes. I can't celebrate with you. I'll be like, there's children all over the world that don't have shoes, and you just stocking up shoes. Like, it can be a cloak of righteousness. People can hide under the cloak of righteousness saying, I don't believe in hoarding. I only got 2 pairs of shoes. You're hoarding. Nobody needs 2 pairs of shoes. 2 pairs of shoes? Nobody needs 2 pairs of shoes. You're hoarding. You know what I believe? I believe in giving away. I believe you should just give it away and help people. You need to help people. You can turn your covetousness and move away from that, and you can become cynical. And actually being cynical is a form of fear. Because I don't think it's coming to me. So let me change my desire so I don't I don't have to burn and hurt and wait for it. The waiting is over because I don't want it anymore. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want it anymore. I don't care. I don't care. You can have it. Matter of fact, and you'll have people give away their whole supplies. They were trying to start it and they were trying to get going, but they're like, you know what? Y'all can have it because I don't even really care about it anymore. I thought I did, but you know, and it's the fear that I think it's too hard. I don't think I can do it. I don't think maybe I have enough to hold out and be strong and experience it one day. Right? He says this. We're in verse 6. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 farthings, and not one of them is forgotten before God? Does anybody have a different translation? Read, if somebody could read verse 6. So he starts talking about these birds, right? Why is God concerned about birds? He's telling us not to be afraid. He's telling us not to fear. And he starts bringing up these birds. He says, oh, don't worry about the birds. He says, are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 farthings? And not one of them is forgotten? Hey, they're all taken care of. Hey, if I take the time to take care of sparrows, then you're going to be okay. Then he moves on to verse 7. But even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Now, why would God take the time? See, I always thought God made man in his image. He breathed spirit into him and man became a living soul. But before man ran off to play in the woods, God said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm giving you a patch. Okay. Next child. For every child that is born, Jesus reveals something we didn't know. And what Jesus revealed was, he is so in tune with you. If you ask the Lord right now how many strands, he could tell you. You ever know somebody who know their business? So you ask them about that tractor. Okay, now this is a G20. Now this G20, this roll's different than the other tractors that were there. Okay, so that now this engine right here, so it has a roll, and they have the attachment. Now everybody don't have the attachment, but I looked up and got the attachment. That they don't come out actually until next year, but they ship me because we got a good relationship, and they can tell you everything that's going on with that particular equipment, right? If you ask God, so, I could tell you. I could tell you down to the DNA. You know how they show you the DNA, how it swirls? He said, oh, no, I designed everything. I put all of that together. I know the tint of your eye color. God said, I chose that. No, we didn't. God doesn't do assembly lines. So God doesn't make 50 trillion browns, 50 trillion blacks, 50 trillion hazels. God said, no. I do each child. I take your fingers and I draw. I draw every child's fingerprint on my own. Done. Next. Jesus reveals this to us. We would have never known that he was so intimate with us that Jesus says he knows the number of hairs on your head. Jesus, why are you telling us? Because y'all gotta stop being afraid. He's going to take care of, he's in tune with you. He hasn't forgot you. Well, if God hasn't forgot me, why am I going through this? Why am I going through that? Why am I going through this? God is invested in God is an eternal God. So I'm gonna give you an example real quick. If I said, hey, listen, I need y'all to stay here. I'm about to go get a bus, right? I'm about to go get a bus. As soon as I get the bus, then we all gonna head to glory. We all gonna head to glory. So everybody's gonna get, everybody's gonna come up, everybody's gonna get their blessing. All the things that you've been waiting to desire, it's gonna be on the bus, okay? But y'all gonna have to stay here. Y'all gonna have to stay here, right? So just stay in this room, and then I'm gonna be back. Now, when I get back, you'll hear a horn. When you hear the horn, I need you to drop everything because we're on a time schedule, so we ain't got a lot of time to waste. If you don't come, you're gonna miss it. So once you hear the horn, I need everybody to come on out and get on the bus. Everybody understand? Before I leave, somebody may ask the question, when you coming back? I don't know. But as soon as I get it, your blessing is on, the things that you've been asking God is on the bus, right? So I'm finna go get it. I'm coming back. But when I come back, I need you to come, right? So somebody says, how come it's not more comfortable in here? Where the couch is? I'm hungry. You hungry? Somebody said, let's cook a big meal. And hey, you know what? We need to redecorate. Let's redecorate. You know what some of you would say? Hey, listen, we don't need to put all that investment because this temporary. This is what we would say. He said, hey, Brother William said he coming back as soon, so we don't need to be starting a whole lot of projects. Whatever we do, we don't need to be emotionally invested to the point that we fail to hear the sound. Somebody said, hey, turn up the music and let's turn on television. Somebody said, no, cut that off because we need to hear the sound of the trumpet. When you hear the sound, we need to be able to march out. We need to be careful because if it gets too loud and we get to moving and we won't hear the sound and he'll be here and we'll miss it. Because when he dropped us off here, he never intended for us to make this place our home. It was just a temporary place so he can get things ready. So when we hear the sound, we're all ready to go to an eternal place. You see that? So what would it be if we invested in product? Matter of fact, even if we're going to eat, we ain't finna cook nothing that's going to take a whole lot of time because you know not the what? You know not the day nor the hour. So he talks about us being anxious. Don't be anxious because in eternity we got you. So if I'm going, do you think I care about what happens in here? You know how you should treat this life? You should treat this life like you treat a hotel room. Hey, listen, y'all need to wash them. I'm checking out, but y'all probably need to wash some towels. And I don't know what y'all gonna do with that bed, but somebody need to. I ain't had time to make up nothing, and I ain't washing nothing. And what's your mind in the hotel room? Your mind in the hotel room. If anything breaks down, you're not going to Home Depot to get some tools to help repair something at the hotel. What you do? You call down to the desk and say what? God said, man, I wish you would call me like you call the front desk. When something break down, when something break down, you ain't under the sink at the hotel top. Matter of fact, you at the front desk asking for a refund. Listen, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on up there, but y'all need to handle that. That's what you would say. You need to handle that. And notice, you're not stressing. If something fall down or something break or something, if the television not working, you don't say, "Oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do." You know what you do? You be like, "Hey, listen, in room 28, yeah, y'all need to. I need another television or I need another room or whatever the case may be. What's your upgrade like? Matter of fact, you start talking about, and why are you so calm? Because this world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. Oh, the economy. What are they gonna do it? My treasures all laid up somewhere beyond the blue. 'Cause the angels beckon me from heaven's open. And I can't. The song is talking about your emotions. I don't even feel like this is, and if there's any problems that happen now, I go to the front desk of the Lord. Lord, you gotta handle this. I don't know what's going on. Lord, you're gonna have to get me a new house. Because Lord, Lord, I don't know. Lord, I'm hungry today, so I don't know what you're cooking. I don't know what you prepared, but Lord, you're gonna have to feed me because this your body. Like this your body, Lord. And if you want this to be nourished, there's a duck out here somewhere, some chicken out here somewhere. They got your name, they got my name on it, Lord. I know it got my name on it. So he says this. And then we'll prepare to close. He says this, verse 8, also I say unto you, whosoever shall confess me before men, him will I confess before my Father which is in heaven. But if you deny me, then I'm going to deny you. That's verse 9. I want you to skip down to verse 13. And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother. Now, Jesus has been talking about don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what they're going to do to you. Fear God, trust God, respect God. And so while he's doing this teaching, one of them come and say, now he says, Master, Lord, tell my brother to give me my money. That's what he said in the text. We in Luke 12. I didn't make it up. It's in the Bible. We in Luke 12, verse 13. And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother that he divide the inheritance. My brother got the check. He got the bag. He got the bag, but he ain't divided it yet. Right? So tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me. I think my brother is struggling with some covetousness and he keeping my portion. One of the coldest responses in the whole Bible, one of the coldest responses from Jesus in the whole Bible. Jesus says, man, y'all see it? Y'all see it in the text? Jesus said, man, he was 100% human that day. He said, man, who made me? You can tell Jesus came at him sideways. Who made me a judge or a divider over you? Man, that ain't my business. Interrupted my Bible class. You interrupted my Bible class with some money. And he said unto them, take heed, beware of covetousness. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesses. And then he told this story. The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I'm gonna tear down my barns. And I'm gonna build a greater one. My barns are good, but I'm finna get that deluxe barn. Yeah. Ain't nothing like a good barn, you know? You ever seen a real good barn? Yeah. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my good. I'm gonna create a little more compartments. I'm gonna have my little shelves. They go, you know how you walk in and the barn door just open when you, yeah, he said, I'm gonna fix it up real nice. And I will say to myself, I'm gonna say to my soul, yeah, this is what I'm gonna say, soul. You did good. You have much goods laid up for many years. Now what you can do is take thine ease, eat, drink, and now you can be happy. Now you can. Hey, soul, you have labored for this food. You have labored for all of these goods that you have. Now what I want you to do is I want you to put your feet up. I want you to rest. And let's be happy now. Yeah, today we can be happy. But God said unto him, one of the second coldest responses, oh, you fool. Yeah, that's God talking. Oh, you fool. Because tonight, the day you finished, yeah, the day you finished, this night, your soul shall be, the bus is coming. And it has arrived. Beep, beep. Church say, beep, beep. Then who shall those things be which you've provided? You bought all that stuff. You collected all of those things, preparing for someone else's life. So God comes in, now who gonna get your stuff? Somebody finna get your stuff. You know why? Because you invested not in the eternal. It's okay to have stuff. The problem is you invested in temporary. It's one thing to receive stuff. You're like, I just received it. That's one thing. It's another thing when you're spending your life to go get it. All right? And you spent your life to go get something. And he says, but now your soul is required. So the Lord says, you didn't even realize, you're a fool. Because today I wanted you. So the Lord wants us to prepare for his clock, not our clock. Right? Is earth heaven? So he's invested in getting us to heaven. So if this is not heaven, then I don't want you to suffer in a non-celestial place. Why do you think Jesus is preparing a place for us? I'm trying to get ready, right? So he says, this night your soul is required. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? Verse 21, so is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward what? Ain't nothing wrong with being rich. Matter of fact, the Bible tell you to be rich. Just be rich in the right place. He said you rich, but you rich in the wrong place. How you got a negative account in heaven and you're a millionaire on earth? What was the benefit? Because you finna leave all of that for somebody else to enjoy. Do you know that was the problem with Solomon? Solomon said, I built all of this. And now I built gardens. I had workers, and I have all of these beautiful, I brought in trees, and I have singers. And he said, everything that I wanted to do under the sun, I did it. And now I'm leaving it for somebody else, and I don't even know if they even gonna take care of it. That was his issue. He's like, they probably not gonna even. Have you ever let somebody borrow a shirt, but they wasn't wearing it like you wear it? You ever had somebody, you ever give an article of clothing to somebody, and when you wear it, you kind of, and then you take it up, but the way that they was wearing it, it was just saying like, that thing gonna wear out real quick, the way that they handling it. And so then you start to realize that, well, they're not gonna have the same care. And what the Lord is saying is, the care that you had for stuff is the care that you were supposed to have for your soul, where moth and rust can't corrupt, and nobody can break in and steal the thing that is most valuable. That's why Jesus says, if they ask, give them your cloak too. So why would I give them extra? Why give extra? Because I admire it, but I don't value it. My life is not in it. So the thing with fear, it can also be the fear of losing. So I'm holding on to all of this stuff because my identity is actually what I have. You know me by what I have. So I'm afraid that if I lose it, and sometimes what that is not even physical. Sometimes is, you know me by how intelligent I am. But what happens if I lose my memory or I have cognitive problems? You know me by how I talk and how I can preach. But what if what if something happened to my voice? And God said, okay, now it's time for you to use your other gifts. And I don't know what to do because I put my value in a gift. When a gift is something you're supposed to use, it's not something you're supposed to identify yourself with. I identify myself with God. God gives me gifts. But if God decides to take the gift, I didn't lose myself. All right. What if you knew me by my strength, but then I get older and I don't have that strength anymore? Or you knew me by my talent of singing, but then I don't have that gift anymore. I was an influencer. I could lead people, but then all of a sudden the world has changed and they don't need a general anymore. They need builders. They need architects. I was a war general and I know how to go out to battle, but we're not at war, man. We're just here trying to build a community. So, you want a house or something and you've lost your place because you identify, and some people, they are afraid. Some men are afraid of losing their youth. So they change and they get in a different style. They try to get in the vehicle. They going out now because they're like, hey man, be comfortable. I'm afraid of not having it. I just wanted to see if I still had it. Does it matter? Is it dusty? I don't know. What did you feel like you still use? There are some women, they're afraid of losing. So what they do is they do this and they do that and they pursue it and they spend all of this money, they spend all of this time because I'm afraid of losing the compliments that I used to have in this season, and now I don't get it this more. I'll leave you with this last thought. For those of you who know Steph Curry, he's a basketball player, and his lovely wife, who's been married to for many years, she made a comment a few years ago, and she says, I don't get compliments from men, so sometimes I don't think I'm beautiful. And it was a lot of backlash because everybody said, but you're married. And the thing that she was desiring was something that she wasn't supposed to desire. Or at least she wasn't supposed to say it out loud. It was supposed to be a secret. And she actually said out loud probably what a lot of people feel. But it's not something that you're supposed to say. And so, but she's desiring attention that actually, if she got it, it would ruin what she had. So I wanted and I don't want to touch it. I just want to see it. And I'm going to do things to get it, but I'm going to make sure that I don't, because I'm afraid that I understood my beauty by comments. So if I don't get the comments, then I don't know what to do, because my beauty is not in my soul. My beauty is in the mouths of other people. That's how I have defined whether or not I'm a good person. If you say you like me, then that's how I know I'm doing a good job. But what happens when you stop saying that you like me? Am I not a good person anymore? Fear can rear its head in many different places. I'm praying that this series will be a blessing as we begin to explore. Even though just on your drive home, you begin to just meditate and say, you know what? Is there anything that I'm doing that's based off of fear? We haven't got to it yet, but there's a fear of success. And then what if I actually do it? Then I can't lean on my old schedule anymore, or more on my old excuses, because I am actually living my best life, and this thing is actually gaining traction. And so sometimes it's a fear, because success causes you to move into new rooms that you're not familiar with, and so that can be a scary thing. But the question that you may ask yourself is, what am I doing anything based on fear? And what am I afraid of? Am I afraid of somebody saying something? Am I afraid of somebody not liking me? Am I afraid that God won't bless me? Am I afraid that I won't be happy? Sometimes the thing that brings us the greatest sadness is the most simple things. Lord, I just want to laugh again, but I don't think I'm ever going to laugh again. That may not be true. But it's a story that you tell yourself. And because you believe in it, it becomes true.